Hello friends. Today, we are going to journey into a truly wonderful story, a book that has touched hearts all across the world. It is called The Little Prince, written by a brave pilot named Antoine de Saint-Exupery. This story may seem simple at first glance, like a children's fairy tale, but it holds deep truths for every one of us, no matter how old we are. It begins with our narrator, a pilot, who finds himself in a very difficult situation. His aeroplane has crashed in the vast empty Sahara Desert, 1,000 miles from anywhere. He is all alone, with only enough water for a few days. It is here, in this place of great solitude and danger, that something truly magical is about to happen. As the sun rises on his first morning in the desert, the pilot is awakened by a small, gentle voice. The voice says, "If you please, draw me a sheep." Imagine his surprise. Standing before him is a little boy with golden hair, a charming little prince from another world. This is not a mirage or a dream. The little prince is real, and his sudden appearance is a mystery as grand as the desert itself. The pilot, who has long felt disconnected from the world of grown-ups, feels an immediate connection to this curious child. Their meeting is the start of a beautiful friendship that will change the pilot's life forever, reminding him of things he had long forgotten. To understand why this meeting is so special, we must go back to the pilot's childhood. When he was a little boy, he loved to draw. His very first masterpiece was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant from the inside. To him, it was a fascinating and slightly scary image, but when he showed his drawing to the grown-ups, they saw something entirely different. They saw a hat. No matter how he tried to explain his drawing, they told him to put away his pencils and focus on more serious subjects like geography and arithmetic. This experience made him feel very lonely and misunderstood, so he put his dreams of being an artist away for a long time. You see, the grown-ups had lost their ability to see with their imagination. They could only see what was on the surface, the outside of things. But when the pilot meets the little prince, something amazing happens. He shows the prince his old drawing of the boa constrictor, and the little prince sees it for exactly what it is. He understands immediately. This shared understanding creates a powerful bond between them. For the first time in many years, the pilot has found someone who truly sees and comprehends his world. It is a reminder that the most important things are often hidden from plain sight, waiting to be discovered by a curious and open heart. As their friendship blossoms in the quiet of the desert, the little prince begins to share stories of his home. He comes from a tiny planet, hardly bigger than a house, known as asteroid B612. It is a simple place with 3 small volcanoes, 2 active and 1 extinct, which he carefully cleans every day. He also pulls up the baobab sprouts that threaten to overrun his little world if left unchecked. His life is one of routine and great responsibility, caring for his small home with diligence and love. But his planet was not empty. It was also home to something very special, something that caused him to leave on his grand journey across the stars. One day, a mysterious seed landed on his planet and sprouted into a beautiful, unique flower, a rose. This was not just any rose. She was proud and a little bit vain, with 4 thorns to protect herself. The little prince fell completely in love with her. He watered her, shielded her from drafts with a screen, and placed a glass globe over her at night to keep her warm. He did everything she asked, but her words were often difficult and demanding, and he was too young to understand that behind her vanity and her little lies, she truly loved him back. He only heard her sharp words and felt confused and unhappy, believing she did not care for him at all. The prince's relationship with his rose is a powerful lesson about love. Love is not always easy. Sometimes it is complicated and requires a great deal of patience and understanding. The little prince did not yet know how to look past the rose's thorny words to see the tender feelings in her heart. He took her demands at face value, and they made him sad. He decided that he could not stay with her any longer. His decision to leave his planet was born from this misunderstanding, this inability to see the love that was right there in front of him. It is a feeling many of us can relate to, when words get in the way of what we truly feel inside. And so, with a heavy heart, the little prince said goodbye to his flower and began his travels. He wanted to find answers, to learn about the universe and find a purpose for himself. The rose, in her own way, was sad to see him go, but her pride kept her from asking him to stay. She simply wished him well. This departure sets the stage for all the lessons he is about to learn. He carries the memory of his rose with him on his journey, a memory that is both painful and precious. He doesn't know it yet, but this journey will eventually teach him the true meaning of his love for her. The little prince's journey takes him to 6 other small planets, each inhabited by a single peculiar grown-up. Each of these encounters teaches him something about the strange priorities of the adult world. The first planet he visits is home to a king who sits on a grand throne that takes up nearly the entire planet. This king believes he rules over everything: the stars, the sun, and the prince himself. But his power is an illusion. He can only command things to do what they would do anyway. He represents the thirst for power, an authority that is ultimately empty and meaningless. Next, the prince meets a conceited man on a planet all his own. This man only wants one thing: to be admired. He asks the prince to clap his hands so he can bow in return, craving applause from his lone visitor. He is a symbol of vanity, of needing constant approval from others to feel important. The prince finds this very odd and quickly moves on. On the third planet, he finds a tippler, a man who drinks to forget that he is ashamed of drinking. This sad, circular logic shows the prince a life trapped in a cycle of despair. The prince leaves feeling very puzzled by the strange ways of these grown-ups. His travels continue. He meets a businessman who is frantically counting all the stars which he believes he owns. He is so busy with his matters of consequence, owning and counting, that he has no time for anything else. He represents greed and the obsession with possessions that make people forget the beauty of the world around them. Then, the prince arrives at the smallest planet of all, home to a lamplighter. This man must light his lamp every evening and put it out every morning. But his planet spins so fast that a day lasts only a minute. He is trapped in a routine, following orders without question. Of all the grown-ups, the prince feels the most connection to the lamplighter because his work is for something other than himself. Yet, his life is still absurdly pointless. Finally, he meets an old geographer who sits at a large desk writing in enormous books. But this geographer has never actually seen the mountains, rivers, or oceans he records. He represents a kind of knowledge that is disconnected from real experience. It is the geographer who tells the little prince about Earth, describing it as a grand and interesting place to visit. And so, the prince's journey continues onward to our world. When the little prince arrives on Earth, he is at first very lonely. The planet is so big, so vast and silent compared to his little home. His first encounter is with a snake in the desert who speaks in riddles and hints at a power to send him back to the stars. Then, he comes across a garden filled with thousands and thousands of roses. He is shocked and heartbroken. His rose had told him she was the only one of her kind in the entire universe. Seeing all these other roses, he feels that his flower is not so special after all. He lies down in the grass and cries, feeling that everything he cherished was based on a lie. It is at this moment of sadness that a new friend appears, a fox. The fox is wise and wants to be tamed. The little prince does not understand what to tame means. The fox explains that it means to create ties, to establish a relationship. To me, you are still nothing more than a little boy who is just like 100,000 other little boys, the fox says. And I have no need of you, and you on your part have no need of me. But if you tame me, then we shall need each other. To me, you will be unique in all the world. To you, I shall be unique in all the world. This idea is a revelation for the little prince. The fox teaches him the patient ritual of taming. They must meet at the same time each day, sitting a little closer each time, building trust and affection slowly. Through this process, the prince learns that friendship and love are not found, but created. They are built through shared time, patience, and care. As their bond grows stronger, the time comes for the prince to leave. The fox is sad and says he will cry. But he tells the prince that the friendship was worth it. The color of the wheat fields will now remind him of the prince's golden hair, bringing him joy. He has gained something precious from their connection. Before they part, the fox shares his most important secret, a gift for the prince to carry with him forever. And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. The fox says, it is only with the heart that one can see rightly what is essential, is invisible to the eye. Suddenly, the little prince understands. It is the time he wasted on his rose that makes his rose so important. She is not just one of thousands, she is his rose. He tamed her, and she tamed him. He is responsible for her. This powerful lesson changes everything, helping him to see his love for his flower in a new and profound way. Armed with the fox's wisdom, the little prince understands the world with a new clarity. He finally comprehends that the grown-ups he met were so unhappy because they could not see with their hearts. The king, the conceited man, the businessman, they were all focused on things that were not essential. They cared about power, admiration, and possessions, things you can see and count. But they had forgotten about the invisible things that truly matter, like love, friendship, and beauty. They had lost their sense of wonder, the very thing that made the pilot's childhood drawing so special and meaningful. This journey of discovery for the little prince also becomes a journey of rediscovery for the pilot. As he listens to the prince's stories while trying to fix his aeroplane, he begins to remember the child he once was. The prince's simple, profound questions force the pilot to look beyond his grown-up worries, his thirst, his engine, his survival, and think about what is truly important. The little prince reminds him that a promise is a promise, that caring for another being is a great responsibility, and that the bonds we form are the most precious treasures we can ever have. The pilot's heart begins to open up again, just as it did when he was a boy who drew boa constrictors. The ending of the story is both sad and hopeful. The little prince knows he must return to his planet to care for his rose. His body is too heavy to make the journey, so he arranges with the snake to be bitten, to leave his physical shell behind. It is a heartbreaking farewell for the pilot, who has grown to love his little friend dearly. But the prince assures him that he will not be gone. He will be laughing among the stars, and whenever the pilot looks at the night sky, it will be as if all the stars are laughing for him. It is a beautiful metaphor for how those we love live on in our hearts and memories. The Little Prince leaves us with a timeless and inspiring message. It encourages us to hold on to our childlike wonder, to ask questions, and to never stop seeing the magic in the world. It teaches us that what is essential, love, friendship, kindness, and beauty, is invisible to the eye. We must learn to see with our hearts. So, the next time you look up at the stars, think of the Little Prince. Remember to care for your own roses, to tame your own foxes, and to never forget the simple, profound truth that the very best things in life are not things at all. They are the connections we make and the love we share.